Alright, welcome to week 4 of the Marshville series, and we are fast approaching patch 3.4. And as you already know, we got a level increase this Monday, so most likely next week on Monday, we should finally reach level 100, so make sure you're prepared. But starting out, you want to go ahead and take a look at your casual tab, starting with Artificial Island. And you want to make sure that you hit the present icon so that way you can get your resources, because you can only hold these resources for 24 hours. And once it reaches 12 Eastern, you want to check in this area and see if you have an old man icon. If you do, you want to make sure that you visit your island so that way you can get some free items. But if you don't, you want to try to visit your friends, your crewmates, or people out in the world that give you access. And if you want to find out more about that, check out this video. But you still want to visit your island at least once a week. Then you want to go ahead and click on this triangular icon and go to your exchange store and buy your weekly items. But you also want to make sure that you go around the island and kill all of your enemies, at least the bosses, because they reset every Monday. And if you're collecting pets, you want to make sure that you feed them at least once a day. Next, you have fishing, and you want to try to get your fishing level to 9. That way you can buy your weekly standard matrices. And if you're just starting out with fishing, I recommend that you get 100 to 150 green bait, and with the rest of your available bait, buy purple bait, bringing us to Ronnie the resource dealer. And for my vote mains, you want to make sure that you buy your mini pelican shards, and you want to make sure that you buy your energy, as well as your potent omnium crystal. Next, we have appointed research, and you want to make sure that you do this at least every other day, so that way your energy does not cap, because you can only hold a grand total of 20 energy. And next we have racing. If you don't have a lot of Mira, then you might want to try to get your racing done before the month is over, because if you're able to get in the top 100, you're able to get 400 Mira at the end of the month. Finally, bringing us to the trap section. So ideally you want to try to get your celestial capture to level 5. That way you can capture all the bird-like creatures in domain 9 for a possible chance at a mount. But you might want to go ahead and try to get your ocean catch to level 4, so that way you can capture the golden dolphin next patch. But you might want to also try to get your other areas leveled up, because they might do something with those in the future, so make sure you're taking advantage of your daily capture experience. Next, you want to do your daily bounties and make sure that you choose domain 9, and when it comes to your keys, you might want to save those just in case if you have enough energy for the next patch. And don't forget to do your Mia's Kitchen. And you want to make sure that you do your 3 Claire Stream Machine, to where you can get these to spawn by killing elites, opening up boxes, or even going for machine parts, because you do have a chance to get some pretty good rewards like red nucleus, special vouchers, and even Titan materials. Bringing us to vitality, starting with joint operations. So you want to make sure that you do at least 1 joint operation a day. That way you can get your daily first clear reward, to where you can get your Scylla or Habuella shards and your drives. You also want to get in the habit of checking out this instance effects, to where you notice this week we were able to get Habuella shards on Thursday, so hopefully you're able to save some vitality on Wednesday, so that way you can take advantage of that. Next, we have interstellar exploration, and you want to check Vera as well as check Aspera. And ideally you want to try to go for level 2 or level 3 stargates, and how you're able to tell is by looking at the star icon above the stargates. But if you don't have any level 3s or level 2s, you can always do dimensional trials and simply press go and hit quick battle, and then you use up all of the vitality that you choose. And you can do the same for matrix data packs or gold. Which brings us to our optionals, and that is giving gifts to your 1.0 characters. And the best way to do that is to go to the black market and talk to Hopkins, see this island and do the claw machine, or knock out your 2 trainings for the day. Also, if you need Mira, you can do your 8 fun zones. But what is not optional are your security force missions. You want to make sure that you do those, so that way you can get those old Vera coins in Mira. Also, if you have not cleared out the gray space yet, you might want to try to do your 6 gray space fishers. But the biggest rewards are in the Twilight Zone, but you do have an 8-hour time limit, so you could wait on this. Bringing us to our event, so hopefully you logged in enough times to get everything from the supply run. And for those that are spending money in the game, remember you only have a little over 3 days if you want to try to get this limited time Tanium purchase rewards. And for those that missed the Alice Gacahpon, you have 3 days as well. We also got a new battle pass, so for those that want a little bit extra power, you might want to consider getting the $20 one, to where you get a free SSR relic. They also added this themed event section. You want to make sure that you hit on more info and you look through everything that is coming in patch 3.4, because at the end you're able to claim 40 dark crystals. And we only have 3 days left to get Ling, so if you want to know how I feel about her, be sure to check out this video. And that is the same for our reruns, and if you want to know how I rank these, be sure to check out this video. Bringing us to our big event, so hopefully you've done everything on the challenger's task list, so that way you can get all of the rewards, with the same for the version delivery. And then we have the Mega Master Arena, which is a pretty bad event. For one, you have to exchange your Mira for Copper Bloom, and if you have a high PvP rank, you might find it difficult to match with other people. So hopefully you can find some players the same rank as you, and you can try to get through this event, because there are some pretty good rewards, and you only have 3 days left to complete this. Fruit Escape, now this one is not the greatest event either. You basically really need to make it to the last round so that way you can get the most points, and you do not get a lot of points even if you do make it to the last round. So you might be doing this event for quite a while to try to get all of the best rewards. So try not to wait till the last day to complete this event. And for a little bit of an update on Nan Yin, she has went through a lot of changes in the test server to where, one, she was really strong and now she's a bit too weak. So she might be having changes all the way up to where she comes out in live. So I got a lot of work ahead of me this weekend, but expect to see a video either towards the end of the weekend or early next week. Next we have mentorship, and you want to make sure that you're getting points with your mentees so that way you can eventually graduate them, so you can get some really good rewards. But remember to take at least one mentee with you a week so that way you can get these mentorship missions. When it comes to the store, I recommend that you get the Titan compiling module, the data repeaters, and if you have excess points, I would get the golden gear. You can consider the radar detectors, and you might want to go ahead and buy some appointed research kits if you're trying to do some things in appointed research, capture animals, or get the materials from Ronnie. Next, you want to make sure that you visit the marketplace and see if you can make anything so that way you can turn in your monthly items or try to get materials for next month. But of course, you want to check the monthly vendor and see if you're able to sell anything for a good deal. But also check and see if you're able to buy any materials from the vendors at a low price. And be sure to check out the Beast Adoption Center and try to turn in any animals that you're able to tame, as long as you can get a pretty good deal. Because you want to make sure that you have enough dominions so that way you can make your domain expedition key. But do remember that you're going to need an Aspera, a Vera, and a domain 9 key. And you can only make one a week. You want to try to make sure that you do these every week because this is one of the best ways to get tries, and you also have a chance to get some standard matrices, including Habuella and Scylla. And hopefully you have this statue to level 6 so that way you can do the energy field collector, which is located in the bottom area right here. And ideally you want to try to hit these with a fast weapon so that way you can quickly collect the energy. And this is very important because you can get 3,000 energy a week. And besides that, you can go around and collect the energy on the map. And usually the best way that I do that is by following the road, which leads me to most of the locations where their energy is located. Which brings us to our weekly tab. So you want to make sure that you do enough things down here so that we can get everything up top. You especially want to do the missions that give you keys. And when it comes to your keys, again, I recommend that you might want to try to save those for patch 3.5, depending if you have enough energy. Also remember that you want to try to save some golden boxes so that way you can make sure that you can get your Aspera, Vera, and Domain 9 keys so that way you can make your Domain Expedition key. Which brings us to our challenges, starting with Bygone Phantasm. So again, you want to take a look at this weapon buff, and if you have a good weapon buff, then you might want to try to climb a few levels. But if your CS is high enough, you may be able to do the sneak to next level and jump up 11 levels as long as you can beat that floor. But the biggest thing that will determine your rank is Sequential Phantasm. If you're able to get a high level here, most likely you're going to get the top rewards for the week. Wormhole, now you have 11 days to complete this, and you want to make sure that you do that so that way you can get those exoskeleton shards. Frontier Clash, you want to go ahead and knock that out so that way you can get that golden gear. Frontier Evolution, now this ends on November 21st, so you might want to try to get a strong team together and try to collect these rewards. Origin of War, now we have a new season, so you might want to try to get a team of 4 together and try to climb a few levels, at least before this goes down to 600%, so that way you can get all of the rewards. Void Rift, this is a first time boss for you, you want to go ahead and knock it out. And take out all the bosses so that way you can get all of the rewards. And if you find this difficult, then I just recommend that you keep doing Void Rifts so that way you can get energy till eventually you can get some really strong tech. But this is the tech that I used, and I went as a flame DPS. Raids, this week we had Gluttonous Feast, so you need to make sure that you have a pretty competent team so that way you can knock this out. But if you do find this difficult, then you might want to just try to do Heroic because you still get pretty much most of the rewards. Break from Destiny, you want to do this at least one time so that way you can get those 250 Dark Crystals. And how you can tell if you did it for the month, you can hit this information tab. Arena, if you're trying to reach Grand Marshal, you might want to put a couple hours in each day. Also, you might want to try to get some critical points because in patch 3.4, they're going to be adding some accessories and Vera to the shop. Then we got our daily buys, so you want to go to shop and make sure that you have your monthly pass active. For my dolphins, you want to try to make sure you have the 7-day purchase active, and then we have the hot tab. So if you're going to buy some vitality solutions, I recommend that you don't buy no more than 2 a day, because remember, if you do that, you're going to be giving up 21 rolls. And if you need booster modules or advancement modules, you might want to go ahead and just buy those. Bringing us to the Commissary, starting with the Crystal Dust Store. So you want to make sure that you buy your Vera special gift, your Potent Omnium Crystal, your advancement module, your booster module, your augmentation box, and your augmentation factor. Space Time Store, now you want to buy your advancement module, your booster module, your data repeater, and if you have enough crystal fragments, IP shards. Peru Store, now the only thing that I recommend that you spend your points on are relics, and the relics that I recommend are either Space Time Rift or Omnium Shield. Support Store, if you have a lot of points, you can consider buying gold or Space Time Crystal Fragments, and if you have an excess, you can buy your Black Nucleus, your Joint Supply Chips, and your Space Time Crystal Dust. But if you have return points, I recommend that you buy the Proof of Purchase, And if you have an excess, you can consider buying space-time crystal fragments, goat nucleus, or radar detectors. Point store. Now the only thing that you want to spend your points on are spare special gifts, so that way you don't have to do training, black market, or see this island again. But if you need to level up your matrices or weapons, you can always buy matrix data packs or weapon batteries. And with your critical points, you want to save those for patch 3.4. But besides that, I just recommend that you explore the map so that way you be ready for patch 3.4. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If so, I would greatly appreciate a like so that way it spreads more on YouTube. But other than that, I'll talk with you guys later.